It's Happy Hour again from Uptown New Orleans. Hello, I'm Grant Morris. Happy Hour is part of the family of shows on the podcast network. It's neworleans.com. When you walk into a bar in New Orleans and you pull up a bar stool, you never know who's going to be sitting on either side of you. What you do know is no matter what they look like, what they're wearing, whether they just got out of a limousine or just got out of jail, they're going to be happy to talk to you because that's New Orleans and this is Happy Hour, a cocktail-fueled 60 minutes of random conversation. I've never had anything like that looking right at me, though. What is that thing?
That's a ring I just got at Bloomingdale's. It's a beetle.
Oh, it's a huge red ruby style beetle. How big would that be, Goat? This is Rev Goat Carson here.
That's probably about an inch and a half.
An inch and a half, gigantic. What would you call that? Costume jewelry.
Yes, I would call it costume.
It's costume jewelry. It's nice.
Yeah.
And you got it at Bloomingdale's.
Got it at Bloomingdale's.
And I see you have 4 good fingers, and this one's cut off.
Yeah, that had an accident with a tractor.
A tractor? When did you do that?
1990.
What happened?
I was mowing the guy's lawn. I had a place that was in exchange for mowing his lawn. And the deck was one of those mowers where the deck flops down, and it hit a mogul, so it flopped down. So I went to reach under it to put it back up again, and the thing coughed, and it took off that finger and mangled this one.
That one looks okay.
Yeah, it looks all right.
Yeah. Well, I went to John Hopkins, and they left me sitting there for 8 hours. This tip
Did
died.
you tell them you could only count up to 7 at that point because of your missing finger?
Well, or 7.5.
7.5. You sat there for 8 hours with your finger chopped off.
Yeah, and they let the actual tip they could have reattached. They let it die.
Damn.
And
Wow.
this one doctor was getting ready to go off, to dinner, and my wife said, "Hey, he's been sitting here. They've given him no pain medication because they want to test the sensitivity, but he's been here for 8 hours. Can you do something?" And the guy says, "Oh, okay. I'll sew it up and I'll try and save as much of the stump as can, but you'll have to have another operation to reform it."
Good heavens.
Yeah.
But I got a reservation.
Yeah.
So this is Eric Hollerbach who's joining us as well.
How's it going?
Hey, Eric. I'm good. Eric is a stand-up comedian. Goat, do you know about him?
A bottom?
Do you know anything about Eric Hollerbach?
Oh.
Would you like me to tell you?
Yes, tell me about him.
Okay,
I thought
Eric's-
you were talking about somebody's bottom.
Well, I could.
Do you know a bottom? Well, there's one right over there.
Okay. No, well, Eric is not one. I don't know. Are you a bottom, Eric?
No, I'm a straight man, but finger here and there, if the drugs are hitting my system right,
What kind of drugs do you prefer?
MDMA, weed.
Meow.
Weed? Are you a big weed smoker?
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah. Are you a big weed smoker, Goat?
Meow.
That's a yes, right?
I would think so, yeah.
And then sitting to my right are the guys from a band called Shark's Teeth.
Yes.
How's it going?
Hello.
This is Tyler Scurlock,
Yes, hello.
who's brought an acoustic guitar with him. And so has Zach Meredith, brought another acoustic guitar, though none of you guys play the guitar. I thought you played, keyboards, both of you.
We thought it would be more appropriate to bring the guitar today.
Yeah. So you're multi-instrumentalists.
Yes.
Well put. So this band, Shark's Teeth, is very interesting. We also have a drummer. Spencer Darr is with us as well, with his muted snare drum.
What's up, Spence?
What up, guys?
Okay. Who are you texting?
Check. Just, some of Shark's Teeth's biggest fans, letting them know.
Some of your fans texting in? Okay, all
Stay
right.
tuned to WWNO.
No, but not on WWNO. I don't know. Why does everybody think the show is on WWNO?
He told me that.
Who told you that?
Propaganda.
Oh, Tyler told you
I
that.
think it was a misunderstanding.
How did you get that? Everybody asks me if we're on WWNO, which is the NPR
Really?
station. If you've heard the show ever, you'll be pretty obvious why we're not.
Because it sucks?
I just
'Cause
felt
it
like I
sucks.
heard your
Yeah.
voice
Yeah.
on NPR, on WWNO.
All right. Well, hey, he's talking to the mic here. That's
I
the
had-
radio method.
I guess I thought I heard your voice on WWNO before.
You have.
My voice is on WWNO
Okay.
every
Out to
week.
Lunch is
on Out to
presented
Lunch.
by-
Right.
I got those shows
That's him.
confused.
Yeah, I produce Out to Lunch. So my voice ends up on that show. But Graham DePonte is the producer of this show. Here she is right over here.
Hi.
So, yeah, but this show is not on WWNO. That's why you think that's where the
Clearly
confusion might come from, I guess.
Yeah, I think so.
That we make those both those shows, Out to Lunch and Happy Hour.
Got to consolidate.
Well, anyway, if you want to tell anyone to watch this while you're texting them, Spencer, it's on Facebook Live
Oh, cool.
right now.
Oh my gosh.
This is Grayson is shooting it right now in front of
No
you.
saving us now.
Hey, anyway, so I was going to tell you before, talking about Goat's cut-off finger and his costume jewelry, that we're at Wayfare today, which is on Ferret Street. Wayfare is a restaurant and a bar that serves handcrafted food and spirits with a whole new menu and a radically new happy hour, which is 3 hours every single day from 3 to 6. We can get half-price drinks and half-price off the food as well.
Yeah, the appetizers are pretty banging.
It's awesome here. So come down and check out. You can come down when we're here between whatever time it is now and an hour later on Wednesdays, or come anytime with your own friends. If you have any friends you want to come down. Andrew Duhon is back from Canada.
Yeah, man.
We had a whole conversation last week about whether you were actually out of the country, given that Canada. Well, now, of course...
Not out of the continent, just out of the country.
Did you hear Donald Trump's press conference?
Oh,
Anybody?
some of it. Excerpts.
So are we moving to Canada, or what's the situation? How bad was it?
Oh, well, more of the same, I think.
Just the same. Did you guys hear anything?
I'll try.
Tyler?
Tried not to.
You're out of the whole loop?
Yep.
Yeah. So should we, do you know there's a lot of interesting music around this table. Do you know that Goat has a Grammy Award?
No, what?
Yes. Andrew's been nominated for a Grammy.
not true, actually.
Even though he says it's not true every time I say it. And Goat is an actual Grammy Award winner for his work on Dr. John's album.
Nice.
Yeah,
City That Care Forgot.
Yeah. And I want to do a rap because,
Yes.
I'm promoting my show that I did
Right.
with Melle Mel back in the 80s. And he was a master.
This is Grandmaster Flash and Melle Mel.
Right. Yeah. So this
So
show...
how do you know him?
When I came back to New York from Hollywood, I just, through my connections, got my stepson the lead in a Disney movie.
Right.
And everybody was
Well,
like...
hang on, there's a bit of a loaded sentence here. You came back from Hollywood. What were you doing in Hollywood?
I was a screenwriter and all this other stuff, but
All right.
I had a big in because Karen Black was my sister-in-law. And she knew the director of Something Wicked This Way Comes.
So Karen Black was married to your brother? Or
Yeah.
You? Okay. And who's your brother?
Kit Carson.
Kit Carson.
Yeah.
Now, that's a famous name, isn't it?
Yeah.
How do we know that name? What does he do?
Well, he's a screenwriter and an actor and stuff, but anyhow.
So
let me
you come from a showbiz family then?
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
And I came back to New York, and all the little kids that were Sean's friends were all excited. Oh, you're going to make us a star, too? And then,
Just got to kiss that big ring.
yeah, that's all. The bishop says.
Yeah. What year are we talking about here, Goat?
84.
84, okay.
Yeah.
So Reagan was the president.
Yeah, we all hated him. He invented trickle down.
Right. I think he was about as unpopular as Trump is.
Oh, I would say in the ghetto, definitely. We're in the Bronx.
Right.
He better not show up in the damn Bronx.
But now he's the greatest president that ever lived.
So the Republicans say, yeah.
Right.
The great communicator.
Do you think Trump is going to go the same way? He's going to end up...
As the great communicator, no. No, I don't know what he's going to do, but it'll be exciting.
You know, I was thinking about it today that, Grant, you
Yes.
actually called the Trump win.
I predicted it long before.
I thought you were full of shit.
Yeah, that's really helped my credibility that I predicted Trump.
I couldn't, like, you put it on the social networks and whatnot. You were
Yeah.
talking about, I don't want to be right, but I think I'm right thing.
Yeah.
You were right.
I was right.
That was crazy.
But that was as far as I've got, really. I can't predict anything else.
I
wish
remember
could.
having a thought, something like, I remember in college finding those websites where you could bet on football overseas, and that was fun when you were in college and paying attention to college football. And I know that you could bet on the presidency. And I had thoughts about, there's all this kerfuffle about Trump maybe getting nominated. Maybe I should put some money on this. Really glad I didn't.
Why?
Because
Why?
I would have bet against Trump.
I didn't know you could bet on the presidency.
Oh, you can bet on anything, yeah.
Legally, though?
No, not in the States
It's
legally.
illegal.
It's illegal, but you bet on a website that doesn't have its holdings in the United States.
You can go to like Windows in Las Vegas, and you can bet basically on anything.
Is that, yeah, maybe so Las Vegas
Yeah.
would be the one spot in the States where you could bet on anything. But I think, generally speaking, in the United States, you would need to bet into a company that's based in the Caribbean or something, right?
This whole Trump presidency really got me thinking, like, okay, what if George Clooney and Matt Damon ran together? Like, they would murder like, they could be a Green Party candidate and be the president. Like, now I'm realizing, like, this is about popularity. It's got nothing to do with ideas at all.
If they could make a big production out of every press conference, really get into it, have a song and dance sort of, Lonely Planet sort of thing. Really
he's
get
dancing,
in there.
he's tap dancing. Look at that smile. I'm voting for Matt Damon.
Smile, I like that.
I ran for president, right?
Yes, I was just going to mention that in 1992.
Yeah, Joe Walsh was my...
Joe Walsh?
Joe Walsh from the Eagles.
No shit.
Was the vice presidential candidate.
I love Joe Walsh.
Yeah, we got about 100,000 votes nationwide.
Wow.
Come on.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty
cool.
awesome. So we're talking to a presidential candidate and a Grammy Award winner.
Wow.
And a NAMI Award winner.
And a
One
NAMI.
Native American Music Award winner.
So you're also Native American.
Yes, I am.
What are you? Which tribe are you?
I'm what they call the Renegade Cherokee.
Renegade Cherokee. What does that mean? You got kicked out of the Cherokee tribe or something?
No, at the time of the Oklahoma land rush, my great-grandfather, and he was Cherokee, and then the Choctaws, we banded together to, take it to the Supreme Court. I mean, you can't break every treaty with every Indian nation you ever made, and just because you want more land. And what the government responded with was the Curtis Act, that eventually dissolved the Cherokee and Choctaw government, saying, "Oh, you can't sue us because you don't exist." Mm. And then they introduced the Dawes Roll, which was like blood quorum.
Blood what?
Quorum, how much blood you have.
I'm
only 160.
Right.
And my great-grandfather says, "You don't have the right to tell me whether my grandchildren are going to be Cherokee. I walked the Trail of Tears. Get off it, okay? I'll tell you who's Cherokee and who's not." And so that's where we went renegade. A lot of Texas Cherokees and Choctaws that were up in the Panhandle went renegade because the Panhandle was really small until the Oklahoma land rush. Then it got big. And what they basically did was move into Cherokee land. And my great-grandfather had a trading post. I mean, we were the civilized tribes. It wasn't just a race for land. We had businesses. We had seminaries, It was a race to grab our shit,
Right.
basically. And that's what it was. And so he protested, and he just stayed where he was, and, he became a Texan, basically.
Well, what happened to the sovereign land stuff when all the tribes got the right to have their sovereign land and you can have a casino and it's not taxable and all that? Do you own a casino?
No, the whole thing was that didn't come about till very much later. All they did at the Oklahoma land rush was just push us out and take our shit.
But I thought they rectified all that with this whole sovereign land treaties, and they gave all these
and
tribes
then, of course, you got the freaking pipeline that's running right through sovereign land.
Right.
And they've got police out there spraying Indians with, water hoses in the freezing.
Right.
It's like, they never get enough, okay? I'm just sorry. They got the whole continent, and then they want to take these little pieces too,
So are you the only Native American who's ever run for president?
Will Rogers.
Will Rogers
ran for president. Yeah, he was
the cowboy.
Well, he was a Cherokee too.
A renegade Cherokee?
Yeah. Huh. Will Rogers was renegade Cherokee.
Will Rogers is the country western singer.
Yeah. And
there's not too many country western singers who are Indian, are there?
Well, Willie Nelson.
Willie Nelson's Indian?
His original band was called the Cherokee Cowboys.
All right.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know Willie pretty good too.
How do you know him?
I met him when I was running for president. He really liked the whole "we want our money back" thing. And then
what was your platform? We want our money back.
Yeah, my platform is we want our money back. We want to shut down the federal bureaucracy. We're going to give it a Willie Nelson audit. And in between now and then, every citizen was going to get $100,000 because that's how we figured it out.
That's a great idea. If you took all the money in the bank that the government has, we'd all get $100,000.
Basically, yeah. Anybody over 21 would get $100,000.
That's a good platform, don't you think?
Yeah.
Genius.
I could get behind that.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Joe Walsh was going to be the vice president in charge of dividing it up. How did you come up with Joe Walsh as your vice presidential running mate?
He had a song out at that time saying, "I want to be vice president." And he was playing with Kinky, so I said, "Hey, Kinky, ask Joe if he wants to be my running mate."
Kinky Friedman, the Texas Jew Boys.
Yeah.
Kinky. Okay.
And he said, "You want to be Goat's running mate?"
Of course.
And he gave him the, "Oh, yeah, hell yeah."
Had you met him before that?
No, I just met him through Kinky at
On the
that
trail?
time. Yeah.
So it was like an arranged marriage of
somewhat.
political
Yeah.
expediency.
Yeah.
So it's good to have a campaign song ready to go. I don't know that song. Do you guys, anyone that Is
we
it
want our money back. It was really fun.
Nice.
Now, I got to do this rap because
Yeah, you can do
we're
it.
talking Melle Mel.
Yeah, okay, let's go back to that. So
Thing.
somehow you moved back from Hollywood. Eric used to work in Hollywood too, by the way. We'll get onto that in a minute. Okay, so you moved back from Hollywood to New York,
Yeah,
and you met Melle Mel,
yeah.
who at that point was the sort of inventor of rap, actually.
Basically, he was. He was the one that took it international.
Right.
Because he was so socially conscious, shall we say.
Well, how did you get involved with him? There's a
Because
screenwriter from Hollywood who's married to Karen Black's.
his
Hang on.
costume designer lived downstairs from me. And these guys used to dress. They were like Mardi Gras Indians. They dressed constantly, and they'd walk their blocks up in the Bronx and then, don't you get on crack, kid, and all this shit. And he just fell, right into what I was doing. And I'd had a movie going because somebody had offered me all the video and production and post-production. So I had a script. I said, Mel, I want to change this script up. And we'll make it a science fiction. And you'll be Life Master, guardian of the universe. You'll have a little computer, which is a naked green girl. And then you're looking for the dreamer because the dreamer slipped away. And Chernobyl went through the center of the earth. The devil grabbed it, and he was going to twist it so it came up under the Twin Towers. And
Okay.
so that was the battle is to wake the dreamer up before the devil gets, the Twin Towers destroyed.
Well, this has really got a lot of
heavy duty.
What year was that being written?
83, 84.
Whoa.
So you made this movie
I made it. And
with Melle Mel as the star of it,
Yeah.
and it's about the Twin Towers being possessed by the devil who came up through the center of the earth because of the Chernobyl
Is it on Netflix or what?
meltdown.
I got to check this out.
No, I can't. I can't distribute it commercially because of the deal I had with this guy.
Right.
Now we need a better lawyer, that's all.
And, well, he collected unfinished masterpieces. He had one from Jonathan Demme. He made the same deal. I'll give you everything. And
This is the guy who financed your movie.
Yeah.
Originally. What's this dude's name? Because we could call him up.
Brian Kelly, but I think he may be gone now.
He's dead.
I think so.
So what are you thinking?
That's what I'm thinking.
So who has the rights to it now? Then? You. Okay. So, yeah.
Let's get this worked out.
Okay, yeah. So now we're getting somewhere.
Maybe a little New Orleans viewing party or something before you launch.
Well, I'm thinking that once we show it, we'll get invited to the New Orleans Film Festival.
There you go.
Right.
There's a lot of venues that I can show it at.
Yep.
So are you going to show it somewhere here?
I'm going to show it at the Zeitgeist Theater.
Oh, yeah.
Richard Castle Haley, and that's going to be Saturday from 7 to 9.
This Saturday.
This Saturday.
Yeah.
That will be January the 14th.
Yep.
2017, if you listen to this before
Yeah.
January the 14th, 2017.
Yeah.
It's going to be 7 o'clock at the Zeitgeist, which is whereabouts is that exactly? On Aretha
Aretha-
Castle Haley Boulevard.
yeah.
Okay. And how much is it to get in? Is it free or what? Oh, no, it's like $5.
$10, yeah, something
5 or
like
$10
that.
to get in. Oh, this is going to be great. So we
It's
can see
gonna be-
this. Who directed this?
Me.
You wrote and directed it.
Yeah.
Were you called Reverend Goat Carson back then, or were you called something else?
No, I was just Goat.
Goat.
Yeah.
And I have read, because there's a lot to talk to you about, actually, but does GOAT really stand for go on and try?
That's it.
It is true, that.
That is true.
I have read an article about you somewhere else that said that.
Yeah, Yaqui Medicine Man. This is 1966 when I was out in Los Angeles. Because I'd come out with Bonnie and Clyde. They shot it in Dallas, and they all were good friends of mine. So Michael Pollard invited me to come out and meet everybody.
Right.
1966. So I was meeting the Byrds and the Doors and everybody that was around. Mama Cass and Tommy Smothers.
Who were you dating in those days? Any actresses?
No. I was already married, and
That was a bit of a mistake before you moved to Hollywood.
well, that's what I thought. But anyhow, I had 2 kids, and I can't. The kids are so wonderful. It was,
That was a good move.
yeah, it was a good move because we had kids.
Think of all those actresses you could have been dating if you met all these people.
Well, I did meet them all, and Tina Louise was kind of interested in me.
Tina Louise, anybody? Who is that?
I don't know.
Tyler, no?
Professor Anne Mary.
From
yeah.
Gilligan's...
She's from Gilligan's Island. She's the movie star.
Well,
well.
In that case.
Yeah, she came to one of Karen's parties, and we were dancing, and we got to meowing, and, well, yeah.
Where'd you get this meow thing from?
I made it up because I've got Alzheimer's, and people would ask me, hey, do you remember blah, 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 blah? And it was just getting to be a strain, so I just started meowing. Oh, yeah, meow. And it's like a universal language as long as you know.
Oh, it is for cats.
Yeah, you can vary the pronunciation. Oh, meow.
nice, yeah.
Meow,
Inflection
meow,
is
meow,
helpful.
meow.
And do people think you're crazy?
No, they think I'm a kitty cat.
They do.
You know, there's all kinds of sexualities these days. You know, everything is fluid. People
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
other kin. You know, some
Yeah.
people are born and they're like, oh, actually, I'm a tarantula, so I'd like special bathroom in schools. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, exactly. That's
just
what I
going with
want.
that's just trendy. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. So, Eric,
Yeah.
what shows did you work on in Hollywood?
Oh, yeah. So I worked on a bunch of reality shows. I went to the New School in New York, and then I was an intern for Comedy Central. I worked on Making the Band and this show called 50 Cent, The Money and the Power. Then I moved to L.A., and I worked on Shark Tank and Amazing Race and
Oh, wow.
a bunch of reality shows. And then, I don't know, I got sick of it. So I was like, man, these things are making people stupid, you know,
Yeah.
some of these shows that I was working on. So, you know, I came here to get my master in screenwriting at the University of New Orleans. So that's what I'm doing now.
And
Nice.
Goat is a screenwriter.
Oh, I got.
So this is a good hookup.
I know. Look at
Meow,
this
meow.
ring.
You could do... You
I'm like,
could
what's the phone number of this guy? Meow meow meow. Oh shit, I think I'm screwed.
Hey, do you remember the name of the movie, actually? Goat?
Step off.
The Tip-Off.
Step off.
Step Off.
Step off.
Step
Yeah, that's
off.
the Melle Mel movie, and I even got Dylan to let Melle do a rap version of Subterranean Homesick Blues
Ah.
and add a verse.
You know Bob Dylan?
Well, yeah.
Bob Dylan let you change the lyrics to his song?
Yeah. Well, he
Okay, well,
loved
that's
Melle
the-
Mel. He was
That's
very,
the sentence of the day right there, I think.
yeah, he loved Melle Mel. I mean, I'd met him when I was touring with the Alpha Band and the Rolling Thunder and all that.
You were on the Rolling Thunder too with Dylan?
No, I wasn't on it. When it crash landed in L.A., I was with the Alpha Band, and they were the band.
With the Beatles, Apple Band.
Yeah, they were the
What?
band for the Rolling Thunder. They were the main band.
They were,
and
they
so
were friends of yours, or you were a
Yeah,
musician?
T-Bone Burnett was a real good friend of mine, and again, as a lyricist, I'd written a lot of songs with him, and one of them happened to be what he put on the album, which was Last Chance to Dance. And so I was out there. I had a command performance for Bob, too. It's like we went to a party after the Troubadour, and Bob was there. Little Hervé Villechaize was a good friend of mine, a little bit plain, boss. And I'm laying on the couch, drunk, and he comes up to me, slap, slap, slap. Come on, wake up. Bobby wants to hear you. So I went out, and I was looking at him and had my guitar. And, okay, I got one for you, Bob.
Can you still play guitar?
No, I went to the Jawbone Harp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we have a couple of guitars here.
No, I don't want to do that.
You don't want to do it?
No.
Well, what about the rap that you were going to do?
Okay, now this Dr. John had me do. The first show that Dr. John and I did together was at Bard College back in 2005. And it was to raise money for, it's called Build a Levee, to raise money. And Doc insisted that I be on the show, and he insisted that I do this rap. So, is everybody ready?
Let's do this.
You ready, guys?
Strap in. Here we go.
Politics slick like a marriage trick. It's all radioactive rhetoric. You say power is pain, pain is power. I say all the world leaders just chicken shit cowards. They starve the lowly, fatten the rich, and then kiss the ass of any son of a bitch with the JUIs to make it comfy and nice for the military spiders and the parasites. That's right. Every word I said, it was right. Every word I said, it was right. Every word I said, but you ain't got the sense to listen to me, no. Pop, hypno, religion. Who call a doctor, get the nurse. We got all these crazy bastards citing chapter, line, and verse. Wake up. Last time Jesus went to church, that man whooped butt. Y'all folks got hurt. He said, brood of vipers, den of thieves. Son of man is not deceived. My body is the temple. My spirit is the church. My throne, the stars of heaven. My footstool is the earth. How dare a man of God wear diamonds while the homeless walk the street? Children dying in your doorway because they ain't got enough to eat, and you talk about Jesus coming back? Well, who you expect to meet? Some with the Jones Roll stained glass? Or the King of Glory coming in to smite your pompous ass? That's right. Every word I said, it was right. Every word I said, it was right. Every word I said, but you ain't got the sense to listen to me. No. You just sitting there with that vacant stare, licking their poison from the air. You suck the pus of satisfaction, trickling down from billionaires all riddled up with cancer, or you watch some stupid dancer do the hammer on TV. Remember me, because I told you just as cold as midnight blows across the graves around Chernobyl, you ain't free. You ain't free. Don't talk that crap to me. That's right. Every word I said, it was right. Every word I said, it was right. Every word I said, but you ain't got the sense to listen to me. No.
Oh, my God. Yeah. I think you need a second opinion on your diagnosis of Alzheimer's here.
Yeah, not one meow.
Yeah.
No meows.
Yeah, that was amazing. I couldn't remember half. Could you remember a rap like, well, I guess you guys are musicians. You could probably remember a few lyrics.
Maybe one, but no.
Well, that's impressive. Goat, so you wrote that?
Mm-hmm.
And you wrote that for Dr. John? Did he ever do that, or you just wrote it for yourself?
I wrote it for myself, and he insisted that I do it on the show at Bard.
Right.
You know, he made sure I got to the show, you know, demanded that I be on the show. Because we had all these, you know, big-name guests, and Natalie Merchant and all these people.
Yeah, whatever happened to Natalie Merchant?
Yeah.
Do you stay in touch with her?
Actually, no.
Did you just sing it a cappella like that, or did you do it?
No, I just rapped it out, and then I followed that with a song on my bone harp.
Cool.
And she was like so happy. She, you know, I come off stage and she's, thank you. You know, so,
All right. So, do you stay in touch with Bob Dylan at all?
It's through Kinky.
Through Kinky. So you're in touch with Kinky Friedman.
Yeah, I stay in close touch with Kinky. We've been fast friends for almost getting close to 40 years now.
He's a great guy. Well, he ran for governor of Texas, didn't he?
Yeah, and I was there backing him, and I took care of his dogs during his campaign.
Did you?
Yeah.
Took care of his dogs during his campaign. That's quite a chore.
That was, because he loves his dogs. He calls them the Friedmans.
Okay.
And I took care of him, and he liked me because I liked being out in the country all alone. Everybody else he had out there, you know, they'd watch the dogs, and they'd go in town and get drunk and, you know, try and pick up Pootie.
Are you still doing that?
No, I don't get drunk and chase Pootie anymore.
You don't do any of that?
No.
What do you do?
I get high and write poetry.
Okay.
That's beautiful.
That's probably a better endeavor.
Yeah, it sounds great.
Well, you know, it's always there. It's like nobody's fighting me. Oh, the joint didn't argue with me. Well, in that case, I think I found a wife.
Mary Jane.
These guys smoke a lot of weed and shark's teeth as well, right?
Oh, yeah.
From
So,
time to time.
talk. Speaking to the
From
mic
time-
here.
from
So
time to time.
Now, who was in Sun Hotel on this band?
I was the only one in Sun Hotel who's presently here right now, but
Right.
there's another member who participates in Shark's Teeth named Devin, who was in Sun Hotel as well.
So is Sun Hotel still going? Is this a side project or?
No, Sun Hotel played our last show in I think February of 2016, so just about a year ago. Maybe it was 15, so 2 years ago. It's
was
getting
15.
blurry.
Yeah, I know it's hard to
getting
count
blurry
now.
Yeah, so maybe it was 2 years ago, but since then, yeah, there's been a lot of other bands and things like that. Just
Sun Hotel
offshoot.
was a pretty successful little venture, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I got to do lots of more things than I ever thought I ever could with a little DIY college touring band. So sure, yeah.
Wasn't it? It seemed to be one of those bands that was bigger outside of New Orleans than it was here.
Yeah, we went all over not the whole country, but at least the East Coast and the Midwest and stuff like that, and got to see a lot of beautiful different places because of it.
And how did you get to be so successful outside of New Orleans? Did you have some sort of good management or good luck, or what happened?
It was pretty much just like getting caught up and connected to parallel universe DIY scenes in other cities. So like the people who were doing the exact same thing we were doing in Nashville or Atlanta or, New York or Philadelphia. We were all trading shows and helping each other out. So on tour, we were all playing with each other, and we just got kind of caught up in that circuit, and it then got really ingrained in it for about 3 years, and went for it. Yeah,
That's pretty cool. So now is Shark's Teeth your full-time project? You guys?
And to some capacity, it felt like the last year. There's been a lot more energy focused on Shark's Teeth, but it's one of many different projects, and it's not really a touring project. It's more of a studio project. So
It's really interesting music because it's really everyone's playing basically electronic equipment. Of some sort or
everybody
another.
in this what's it called?
Incarnation.
Of Shark's Teeth. Everybody does play an electronic instrument, a synthesizer of some kind, or a sampler, or a module, or something like that.
It's really cool stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really not New Orleans
It's really fun.
stuff.
I feel like we have the most fun at shows.
You're enjoying yourself. Where are you playing around New Orleans?
We're playing a lot this spring. We're playing in a couple weeks on the 18th at the Hi-Ho Lounge, and then we're playing on the 22nd at Gasa Gasa for the Progression
By the way,
series.
that's coming up on. That's this week, not next.
Oh, I'm sorry. The 18th of January.
Yeah, that's coming up.
And
It's
the
like
22nd of
the night
February.
after Goat's movie, actually.
Yeah. And then the next show that we're really excited for, not that the other ones we aren't excited for, is we're bringing our friends Greater Pyreness from Mississippi here for a show on March 31st at Gasa Gasa.
Okay. And in the meantime, can we steal this music off of Spotify and everything?
Yeah, you can find a lot of too much music on Spotify.
There's a huge number. There seems to be a huge amount of music.
Yeah, it's unfiltered.
You just put
That's
it up.
the idea.
You just keep putting it up.
Well, yeah, that's the idea.
Yeah. What exactly is that idea?
Well,
Just
sometimes with like a more official sort of project, you might want to go through the steps of rehearsal and then demos and then tracking and then recording and then maybe promotion and then pressing and then the record comes out. Or you could just be in your room with a 4-track cassette deck, make something you think sounds pretty cool, you're into it, and you have Bandcamp, and so you can just upload it that night and bam, you just put out an album that night instead of months of what normally goes into an album. So because of operating like that for the past half decade, we've been able to put out a lot of output.
how interesting. And everything sounds true except the word cassette. You're not really recording stuff on cassettes.
Oh,
are you?
definitely.
Are you serious?
Yeah, plenty of stuff on cassette.
You still have a little Tascam cassette recorder? Or
Yeah, we've
something?
got quite a few 4-track cassette decks. My friend Shelby has an 8-track cassette deck that we use to record a lot. And then often, at the living room studio, we'll record onto reel-to-reel tape, which is a little bit, bigger, of an operation.
Right.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Tape.
So how does it go? So the cassette has some sort of digital out to it, so you can...
Sure. Just like, you have a headphone jack on a cassette deck. You could plug that into an interface, which goes into a computer program such as Logic or something like that.
Right.
And then you can, take any...
You put it up.
You can export anything from a analog device to a digital device and put it online.
Shark's Teeth, so we can go steal that. There's tons of stuff. It's really cool.
Thank you.
But you don't have any filter. You don't look back and go, shit, I wish I hadn't put that up because it's not that good of a version. I could have done better.
Not really so much.
It must be great to have that kind of confidence.
Well, sometimes I feel like I have spent a lot of my life being one of those people who've thought I hate everything I make, the moment after I make it, and now I had to work on the next thing, and that's complete shit, and that was all, it's going to be way better next time. But I felt like I'm more comfortable in the last year of my life being more thankful for the different experiences that I've had over the last decade and for what they were, and just glad that they exist. So
you're not less caring about the output. You're not less careful about how good it sounds.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't put out something that I didn't think sounded good.
Right, but you're more confident about what you put. You're happier with what your product is now, rather.
It's good enough for me.
Right. It's good.
It's like new jokes. It's like water on your gills as a comedian. When you do new jokes, when you try new stuff, just keep the water flowing on your gills, as an artist.
Well, that must be about the worst experience in the world, is standing up there in front of people telling a joke and trying to be funny and no one laughing.
Oh, a week ago today, I was at Carrollton Station, and just every single joke I had completely fell flat. I'm trying new stuff, And, I don't know. I was doing this stuff I was kind of making fun of the pickup artist. The pickup artist, he's like, every time you give a girl a compliment, you also give her an insult. You drag down her self-esteem. Then you go in there when she's, vulnerable. And I was doing this stuff like, girls like two things. They like getting treated bad. They like getting treated worse than that. Put on a feather boa, go in, you know what I mean? I was just playing this ridiculous character, and people are like, oh my God, he treats women like that? I was like, no, I didn't set up properly that I'm not the pickup artist. This is the technique of douchebaggery.
The angle, yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know. And
That's
just people looked at me like, what an asshole,
Could you rectify it by doing your old act? You just fall back on certain stuff that works?
Sometimes, yeah, I'll throw it.
What's your best joke?
Oh, well, I'm like, so my dad's got a big dick, and he pocket dials me all the time, You ever get a 12-minute voicemail from your dad that just sounds like this? It's like, oh, I guess my dad's wearing mesh shorts today, And I took a girl out to eat. There's like a steaming pile of oysters. We're cheersing champagne flutes. And I'm like, oh, you're so beautiful. Wow, look at this. Hang on, I've got a phone call. Oh, it's my dad. It could be important. I just hear, oh, sorry, it's just my dad's dick. What were you saying? You're in cosmetology school. That's cool. There's a bright future there. Yeah, sometimes my dad's dick calls me like 8 times a day. He's probably playing racquetball at the Y,
Why would you choose to have your dad as the subject of that?
Just because it's more violating if there's the subtle incest of a dick dial from your dad.
It's definitely uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It makes people more uncomfortable. Yeah, that's a good point.
That's working.
But it's as innocent as a phone call. So at the same time, it's, you know what I mean? The duality.
I'm not sure about that. What's wrong with you? Whether you're a sick guy or
Lots, yeah. I need too much attention,
Is that what it is?
Oh, I think every comedian has like this. They felt like they weren't heard enough. They would be like, Mom, and then their mom's on the phone or whatever. They're just can't quite break through. And I feel like there's that is unending in my head. You know what I mean? Why else would you put yourself in a position where you could bomb over and over? Why else would you no. Everyone else shut up. I'm the only one gets to talk. It's very narcissistic. So I'm a broken person.
How often are you getting to the open mic at Carrollton Station?
Probably like almost every time, unless I'm booked. Sometimes my friend Corey Mack books me in Mandeville, so sometimes I'll go up in Mandeville and do that show on Wednesday. But pretty much every Wednesday.
How's the comedians little? How is the culture there? Yeah, community.
So I did stand up in New York and Los Angeles, and I do feel like there's certainly in New Orleans like fiefdoms, like these people run this stuff, they're friends with this, these people run this stuff. I was actually banned from the Hi-Ho, because the host made fun of me, and then I made fun of him back, and then I'm still banned.
Whoa! Whoa!
Chair broke.
Chair broke?
You okay, dude? Wow.
Thank you.
Did the chair broke, or did you just fall off it?
I think it was a factor of things.
Man, Tyler, thank God you're all right.
I'm okay.
That's the first time that's happened on the show. We've had a few accidents, but mostly involving people spilling drinks.
Actually, what happened was he did a double sow cow because you can't see it, so we can pretend like anything happened there.
Man, are you all right?
No, yeah, it was slow motion for me, really. It was kind of enjoyable.
Okay.
It's like he went through a ketamine hole or something.
It's kind of interesting to suddenly end up... Have you ever passed out?
No.
That's interesting. When you wake up from passing out, you're on the floor. So it's kind of like that. You just, oh, hell, I'm on the floor. What am I doing on the floor? Holy shit. Hey, let's play a song.
Yeah.
Oh, sure,
Yeah. While you're still conscious. Okay. So, what I was getting at like about 20 minutes ago was that this album, well, all the music, all the Shark's Teeth music is electronic. And now we've got acoustic guitars. So how are we going?
That's true of our most recent efforts.
Okay, so you do other stuff as well, like this. Okay, we can swing this mic around.
I think we can angle these down a little and then pick it up. That's great. Are we in tune together? Wait, what? Huh? You good? It's fine. Okay. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and play a song. So we're called Shark's Teeth, sort of. These guys are from Shane. We're still going to play it. Here it comes. surprise. You won't ever make sense of my guilt. I want to believe you. I'm trying and crying on my cell phone. This always happens at the worst time to cover up what my eyes. With mine too committal. And that's why it's true. I'm home forever, pretending I'm chill. I want to forgive you. The more I'm trying on my dad's clothes that always harken back that worst time to cover up what you're like. With my sentimental attitude.
Scurlock, Zach, Meredith, and Spencer Darr. Shark's Teeth. I think we just make them play another one, don't you, Andrew?
Yeah, let's do it.
What do you think?
Keep it going.
Yeah.
Yep,
I
that
would
was
love to
short
hear
and
another
sweet.
one.
Let's hear another one.
Sure.
Are you guys up for another one?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Football? Yeah. Comparing this with her picture of yourself. What's left of you just hurts. It needs to be held. I lied to console you by wasting your time. There was another. You wanted to be more like. He's changing in front, just leading you on, naked in orange. My eyes are narrow, forever digging in. He's changing his style. He's basing it on the laces you saw in your football. To get what you want, you stay in the car. The feeling's been gone since your football.
Yeah. Nice. That That is great. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks.
That's the guys from Shark's Teeth. You can find that everywhere, all over the internet. Hundreds of it. It's on SoundCloud, Spotify, YouTube.
All of
It's
them.
great.
Yeah, easy to find.
And we can find you on sharksteeth.com or something like that. What's it called?
SharksTeethBand.com.
SharksTeethBand.com. Okay, and we'll put a link to that as well on our
Google
website.
works. Yeah, you can just type in Shark's Teeth.
Shark's Teeth Music or Shark's Teeth Band, or just go to our website, it's neworleans.com, and we'll have a link to that as well. How cool. Right, Andrew?
That was beautiful, yeah.
Nice.
Nice, guys.
Thank you so much.
What's the deal with that? Who's writing all this stuff? Are you writing it all, the two of you, or the whole band, or what?
I write the skeleton. You
start off at home?
Yeah, the bass,
But
I
these
mean, not the
boys added
bass line.
teeth, is that what you're saying?
A little bit, yeah, and I mean, I just come up with the chords and maybe the progression and the time signature or something for the beginning, and then Zach. I mean, I kind of had some ideas that Zach might take, and run with for that one, but he took it and ran with it in a whole different way that he's doing his own thing now. And then Spencer and I have been playing together more of our lives than we haven't, so we're both late 20s, and like we passed that point.
Are you both from New Orleans?
Well, no, not really, but we both ended up here together after being from many different places.
Right.
And so we've been friends though longer than we haven't, and we've been playing music together longer than we haven't. So when I play something like that for Spencer in the living room, it's just a matter of like, he'll just do his thing, and that's it. Yeah. That'll be the end of it.
So it's a lot of shorthand. It's really interesting when you have a band. I mean, for people who aren't musicians. Are you a musician, Eric? No.
Not at all.
I'm sure you'll find it. You're like, how do 4 or 5 guys come up with the same sort of idea? How do you get everyone on the same page? Doesn't seem to come. Does there always have to be someone in charge? Or can you just, like you two, have the same sort of language?
Well, I'm in a band called Keeping, where it's like I'm in a band called Keeping with Greg Rodrigue and Rob Landry from. I'm gonna get all these Louisiana boys confused. From All People and Newslands and Community Records, and we're all in a band together, and it's like a very collaborative effort. Like everyone is a songwriter, and it's cool. It's different.
Right.
But yeah, I've been in lots of bands where there's one songwriter, and then everybody brings in their individual sort of like auxiliary parts.
Do you feel like, in a situation like that, I don't know how much experience you have being creative with the situation where it feels like a lot of cooks in the kitchen, but do you feel like when you write with a lot of songwriters, does it feel like you're creating for the good of the tune and maybe you're never quite satisfied personally with the final result completely? You would have done something differently? Or does it feel like greater than the sum of the parts and it's always kind of maybe a little bit of both?
I'm having trouble differentiating that between like if we set out into a project being like this is someone's project and we're all and we're all helping on this person's project, or if it's like a project that we're all set out together. If it was a project that it was like one person's project, I would definitely end up at the end of the day being like, this isn't the way I would have gone, whatever. But for
just serving his purpose, his or her
part
purpose.
of a song, like that does sound great. It's not what I would have done, but that sounds great. But if it's something that's like all collaborative, then there would have to be a lot of like conversations that are mostly silent, where you're all just kind of sitting in a room and like every 5 minutes someone says something like, well, I kind of feel this way, and everyone's like,
it's a lot of saying I'm fine with that part. Over and over
I guess
again.
I'm cool.
When you're not.
And then it works out. And then it works out. But it's just different ways of going about things,
Right.
Yeah,
So-
totally different.
So, Zach, what did you do before this band?
I've played in some other bands around town, but I also do other things.
Always been a bro.
Always been around.
What do you do? Is it a secret?
No. I played in a math rock band for a while called Tear, but now that is kind of over. I was in a band called Newlands for a while. It's from around here. It's a similar scene to Sun Hotel and all that stuff.
Zach, can I ask a question? What is math rock? I've heard that term before. It's like you try to use calculus to have the best song, find the greatest beats?
Yeah, it's like cosine. No, it has nothing to do with that. It's usually just like varied time signatures, usually leading into more varied time signatures. Like instead of you just having a 4/4 beat that's just happening, like maybe you go from a 9/4 for.
Can you give us a
into
demonstration of that while I read these?
Probably not well on an acoustic guitar.
Give it a shot, because I have like 30 seconds worth of copy to read.
That's probably easier said than done. It's usually it's very dependent on a drummer for me.
Okay.
But no, it's fun. It's I've been doing less music these days, but doing stuff with Tyler has been great. So
What have you been doing instead of music?
I'm a web and app designer. So I make stuff for nonprofits and stuff like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Do nonprofits and like advocacy groups and stuff like that. Work on their
That's cool.
web presences and
do
applications.
Do you build apps as well? You're an app builder?
So I do design and the front end of that sort of stuff. So I am sort of tasked with designing how it works, how it looks, and then also the actual, like, what you see.
Right.
The presentational layer of things, whether that's layout and animation and typography and all that sort of stuff.
Did you do that? Did you learn that in school somehow, or did you just start doing it?
So I went to school for music business, basically, and technology, and
Here at Loyola?
at Loyola, and just sort of happened into making websites for people through that. And
Well, what is the deal with that music business school? I mean, how many music business people can we turn out here?
Oh, yeah, no,
there is no music business here.
yeah, I feel like there's this. People always come here, especially like touring bands that will book shows for, be like, "Oh, New Orleans is a music town. That's great." And especially for the kind of music we end up playing a lot of time, it is not a great music town. It's a music town for like the traditional.
It's good for going down Bourbon Street.
Like the tourists like think of it as a music town, but it's hard.
So given that there's a music business school here and they're turning out how many graduates a year? I guess at least
it's the biggest program at Loyola right now.
It's the biggest program at Loyola University is the music business.
Yep.
So why is there no music business infrastructure in New Orleans?
That's a great question.
I knew eventually there'd have to be one.
And I do not have the answer.
They teach you how to apply for food stamps and get Section 8 housing and couch surf.
Yeah. I mean, I learned a lot of stuff in it.
Why didn't you go into the music business then?
I realized about 2 years, or maybe a year and a half, maybe even a year into my degree program that I wasn't going to use it, and that I wanted to do more stuff with design and technology and do my music stuff as well as that. And mainly just got my degree to make my mom happy. So
is she happy?
I think she is. I think she's glad I finished college.
Where's mom at?
My mom is in Lafayette, Louisiana. That's where I'm originally from.
So you're from Lafayette
originally?
I am. Okay.
Yep. So, but yeah,
all right.
It's
Well, was it just a waste of time going to school?
Well,
just to keep mom happy. Did she pay for it?
No. Luckily, being in state and scholarships and stuff, all that took care of a lot of it.
So, any kids listening to this who are in school, would you advise them to drop out or never go to school?
I mean, it completely depends on what you're trying to do.
Well, then try to please mom. Say that you were,
the hilarious thing about
you didn't have issues with your mom, and you could.
Well, no,
I mean, have to please her by wasting 4 years at school.
It depends. Like, I wouldn't be here right now doing even the work that I'm doing had it not been for going to school for something completely unrelated.
Yeah, I think churning out music business professionals maybe would be a tough goal, but I think thinking of business in terms of the innovation and the fluidity with which the music business seems to be changing and molding itself, and keeping up with those times,
Right.
And those professors at Loyola were great. I didn't go there; I went to LSU, but just in graduation, got plugged in there just by friends, and man, it's a great program.
But isn't it ironic though that the biggest school at Loyola is music business, and yet there is no music business in the whole of America practically?
Yeah, I mean, most people that are quote-unquote successful from that program end up in LA or New York or Nashville.
In the music business?
Yeah. A lot of people go and work for publishing companies, or they go and work for like a songwriter, they work for a publisher as a songwriter or as just a publicist. I feel like that's the main...
That's about all that's left. Well, there's no recording industry to go work for.
Yeah, I mean, like, we get some people that are trying to be managers.
That's a good idea. Do you guys have management?
No.
Shark's Teeth?
Shark's Teeth, yeah.
No.
Are you looking for a manager? Not really.
No.
You don't need one anymore.
No, we got this.
Yeah, you guys mentioned.
They go from cassette to internet. No middleman.
Yeah, there's no need.
Okay,
Yeah.
who needs
We
that?
got it. It's okay.
So we got two things to do. We're going to talk about Eric's podcast,
Oh, yeah, I have a... Okay.
which is awesome.
Can we
And then
come
we've
on
got-
that next time?
And we've got...
Sure.
Wow, we
All
should
right.
go. You wait till you hear this, though, before you want to go on there.
Oh.
And then we need Andrew to play a song as well. What order should we do that? Maybe we
There's
should make,
time, bro.
Let's do
I'll
it.
be
Let's
back
make
next
you
week.
play a song now. What do you think? Make Andrew play something?
No,
I would like
I
that.
can come any week I want. Just hit up Eric and see what's going on here.
What do you got? Have you got a song ready for us?
Yeah, can do.
Come on, let's do
Well,
it.
let me go get the guitar.
Oh, okay, get a guitar. All right. Unless you want to use one of these ones.
Welcome to.
Okay. So, Eric, we can talk about your podcast briefly while Andrew's doing
Yeah,
that.
so I have a podcast called Highway Diary. It, sometimes I put little stand-up clips in it. Sometimes, I just have a lot of interviews with comics from New Orleans. Episode 160 was called The Meltdown because I think that's what you're referring to.
That's the one I heard with your girlfriend?
Yeah, so I got...
That's one of the best pieces of audio I've heard. Did you
Oh.
hear that, Graham, as well?
Yes, I want his girlfriend on the show.
Oh, good idea.
Oh.
You guys have got to hear this. This is episode 160 of a podcast called Highway Diary, which you can probably find by
Yeah, it's on
Googling
iTunes.
it.
Uh-huh.
And it's on iTunes as
Yeah,
well.
so I had my ex-girlfriend on, and so what happened was I got cheated on by a new girlfriend, and I was searching for answers. I was
Hang on,
like,
what? I got cheated on by a new girlfriend. What is that?
Yeah, so I had a different girlfriend other than the one that was on the show. And I got cheated on by her.
Okay.
And so then I went back to my ex before,
Right.
and I was looking for answers. And so I met up with my ex at the country club, and I turned on my recorder, and we basically went over what went right or wrong about the relationship. You know, she had a kid. I taught her kid how to do karate. I taught her kid how to swim. And then just left, right, and center, she was cheating on me, and it all came out, and I basically had a series of meltdowns. So.
It's very good. It's really interesting how honest you are about the whole thing.
Well, I mean...
What possessed you to want to record all that? I wouldn't want anyone to hear that if I was me.
Oh, like your personal life?
Yeah.
Your
Like, I would
romantic
be
life?
so embarrassed. Even if I record that, I would probably think, you know what? I'm not going to put that out.
Art always costs something, Grant. That's when
True.
you know it's good, is when you don't want to put it out there.
Okay.
I
Really?
I think philosophically, like, there's truth in comedy. If you don't have any secrets, then you're, like, a wiser person. Like, what do you have to hide?
Well, were you
I'm
doing
not
that
really-
for laughs, really? Or you think that's funny? I mean, it is highly entertaining. It's really entertaining, actually.
I think everyone can relate to it. While I was recording it, I think that there's an eternal struggle between men and women and what they expect from relationships. And so, as we were recording it, as much heartbreak as it was bringing up for me, I think it was also bringing up a lot of bigger themes. You know,
And well, how did it end up?
Well-
did you end up back together?
not at all. No. So she was like, "Oh," so off camera after we recorded a bit of a segment. Then she was like, "Oh, remember that time I got sick?" I had always thought that we broke up because she got sick and I had to go to class and I couldn't take care of her. You know, so I showed up to her house and I was like, "All right, so do you want me to take you to the doctor? You're sick. What's going on?" So then she's like, "No, you're not taking care of me." I was like, "I gotta go to class," and she's like, "You're abandoning me." You know, so I always thought that I abandoned.
What did she have? Did she have
She had
cancer?
strep throat, you know. So then later when we're recording, she's like, "Okay, is it off now?" I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Remember when I got sick that time?" I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Well, I got drunk with some other people, and there was this, musician." He came over my house, had long hair, and I was just very attracted to him. And, we just made out, and I sucked his dick, and he must have had a weird dick, so I got strep throat from a weird dick.
Strep dick.
And so then I'm like, oh, cool.
Thank you, got it.
And then she gave me strep throat weird dick secondhand.
No,
because
shit.
then we're still in a relationship, we're kissing, you know what I'm
damn
saying?
it. Secondhand strep dick.
So then when I tried to find out, like, what's going wrong, why do I keep getting cheated on with this new girlfriend I had? And then she's like, oh, by the way, I gave you weird dick strep throat. You know what I mean? So don't contact your exes. Don't call your heroes. They're all going to disappoint you.
Are your exes your heroes?
I'm just saying. I'm making an analogy. Everything is always disappointing. Next question.
Everything is always disappointing. That's a good maxim to live by.
But yeah, so episode 160, if you want to hear all about my heartbreak, the meltdown, Highway Diary.
Okay. I think it's definitely worth listening to.
It sounds worth
Thank
it.
you.
And Graham says we're going to have your girlfriend, the ex-girlfriend, on Happy Hour.
think she's in Austin now, but I don't know. She's a bit of a vagabond. Who knows?
Okay.
She's just probably following the trail of weird dicks.
Has anyone noticed, by the way? Talking of Trail of Tears,
Yeah.
has anyone noticed that Reverend Goat Carson has disappeared?
Yeah.
I did notice.
He
that.
said his piece. I think
He just like vaporized into the ether. He's gone.
Yeah.
as with the tired analogy of the Native American who shows up and disappears,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and just shows you the way. And
I
disappears.
was wondering when somebody was going to mention that.
Amazing.
He just like.
Well, I think it was
gone.
like mid-song one time, and then he was like, oh, well, they're doing the song piece. I guess I'm done.
Yeah.
Is that when he left?
Yeah.
I didn't really notice
yeah.
it. He just sort of drifted away. But he did give us some good information before he left, though.
I think he gave us a lot of ideas.
Pretty
He
amazing.
predicted 9/11 from a movie with 1983, and we had no idea it was all about the devil trying to reincarnate. I mean, wow.
It's called Step Off, and it's going to be at the Zeitgeist Theatre on Saturday, January 17th, and then probably after that, who knows where. We probably should go see that. Are you guys in town?
I think we will
Aren't
be.
you playing the next night at somewhere?
Somewhere.
I think you are, actually.
It's online.
It's online. Someone else has got it. Well, you don't have a manager, so someone else has got it. Who writes stuff down in this band?
I don't know.
Everyone's
It's
texting?
very serious.
Depends.
for us, though.
It depends. Okay. Text.
Yeah.
Someone's texted someone about what date it is, where the gig
Shout
is.
out to Evernote.
Evernote. Do you use that, Evernote? I can't get that to work.
I use it.
You guys use it?
Yeah.
Love it. Okay.
Use Canvas.
Really?
Canvas. You
Canvas.
use Canvas?
Okay. Okay. It's
great.
I'll check it out.
Okay. Well, you're the app guy. Canvas. I'm going to write that down.
Is it
Okay.
free?
Yeah, I trust that.
They've got an iPhone app and a web app. It's great. Very
Okay.
simple.
What? Give me a quick pitch.
Thank
rundown.
God.
What does Canvas do?
It's literally just a note app. If you are techie in any way, it takes Markdown. You can write Markdown in it, which is a quick way to format text without having to
Oh,
you write like little like a pound sign or something for different sizes of type and things like
It's like
that.
shorthand or something?
Yeah, kind of. So if you're just if you know it, you can just type out notes really quickly and then just have formatted text and lists and all that stuff without having to actually have controls and all that stuff.
Oh, who knows that, though? You know that, Eric?
Meow text?
Whatever it's called. What's it called?
Yeah.
Markdown.
Markdown. Yeah.
Never even heard of Markdown. Andrew, can you do that?
No, it's not my bag.
You can
No.
also just use
Yeah,
it
no.
as you can literally also just use it as a simple text editor,
Right.
and it's perfectly fine that way too.
Okay, so here's a piece of paper that Goat left behind. Here's something about the film. Is that Melle Mel there? Look, he's got
That's
a whole,
probably the flyer for the thing.
that's
at
a
the
flyer
Zeitgeist.
for the movie. Hey, Andrew, what are you going to play before we get out of here?
Play a song.
All right. Okay.
Is this mic on?
Yeah, I think that's going to work.
Mississippi be my guide. Take me along your winding way. Nothing but the soul survive. Mississippi be my guide. Southern shore will always recede. River sands on a slow bleed, growing deeper with the weather. And from a corner balcony, I can feel a breeze in and out, hands against the side. Mississippi be my guide. Just below the waterline, ever changing as she sways. You don't have to dig too deep to find the rivers with us all the time. Mississippi, be my guide. I will forever be laid to rest again, until we forever be laid to rest again, until we forever be laid to rest again, laid to rest again, rest again, laid to rest again. Mississippi, be my guide. Take me along your winding way. So nothing but the soul survive. Mississippi, be my guide.
Man alive, look at that, the whole bar is in on that. Andrew Duhon, thank you so much. What a nice way to end today's show, wouldn't you say, guys?
Say so.
That was a whole lot of interesting music commentary and beautiful music by these fellas playing those couple tunes.
I thought so too. I thought we've had a very high standard.
I got to be honest with you guys. The music doesn't always not suck. So thanks for being here.
That was really good. Your song's beautiful too. Is that going on the new record?
We'll see.
Okay.
Things need to hit the cutting room floor, Grant. We just have to be realistic about this.
Okay. Well, you could do like these guys, like Shark's Teeth, and just put everything up.
I love that. You know, I
just put it all up.
I held my tongue for the sake of other conversation, but I love that idea, and it's there's something very natural about it that is, I consider, genuine art in its own way, if you catch it right.
Well, you've got a good way of doing that, because your stuff is just you, and you could just put you and a guitar up there.
But I don't.
You have the whole band.
Yeah, I could do that.
Yeah.
That would be more akin to what Shark's Teeth is talking about. Just put it out there. Just do it.
Put it out.
And I recognize that I demo a lot. You know,
it would take the pressure off.
I'm in this place, Shark's Teeth. I'll have you know that I'm like working on these tunes and finding myself in this Tweaksville where you get in this vertigo and you don't know which way is up anymore, and you start wondering. You know,
it's a dangerous place.
It's an awful place to be. You know? But you know, you hope you step away for a while and you come back and hope to better a tune. I guess for a tune's sake, if I'm trying to tell some stories and be a lyricist in the way that tells a story that maybe you catch the first time because it's folky and straightforward. You know, and some of them, you know, but and I think those require some editing to make sure I'm coming from the right angle, but sometimes it's just about the feeling, and you just need to trust in the feeling.
Well, we're hearing your songs over the course. You know, sometimes you play the different version of the same song again, and it is changing.
I was hoping you were going to say, we hear a version of the same song that you play again, and it's not better.
Can't tell the difference. Just do it. No, they're definitely changing. They're definitely getting refined, and then sections are getting longer and shorter.
Yeah, well, the hope is they are becoming refined, but in hopefully good ways, and I think that's what makes great songwriters. Well, certainly something that makes great songwriters is the ability to know how to make your song better and not worse. You know.
How about Goat's political rap earlier? That was crazy.
That was another good piece of
nice,
music. Yeah.
You know, there was a comic in town called Rick Shapiro, and he has Parkinson's disease. So his wife kind of texted on Facebook like, "Hey, can someone take him around?" I'm a huge fan of Rick Shapiro, so I would drive him around to all the mics in New Orleans when he was in town filming a movie. And he has Parkinson's disease. And just like with Goat, when he would hit the stage and do stand-up, he would play like 7 different characters in his head and keep all the plates spinning. And then he would get off stage and kind of be shaky again. But when he was on stage, I literally feel like he didn't have Parkinson's disease, if that makes sense.
Wow. Well, like Goat claims he has Alzheimer's, and he could remember that whole incredible rap and do it in performance as well.
It's perfect.
Pretty cool. Well, it was great to have Rev Goat Carson here, and we'll have to go see his movie on the 17th of January.
It's good to have a holy man in the building.
Yeah, it was. Eric Hollerbach, thank you for joining us
Thank you.
as well. And Tyler Scurlock, sorry you had to hit the deck there during the show, but certainly that was the first.
Somebody had to do it.
I think it's the happy hour.
Happens
after
every
the show.
And how many of those drinks did you have? A couple of those. What were they?
I don't know.
Rockin' Toddy.
Rockin' Toddy. Two
Have
Rockin'
to
Toddies.
recommend them.
Yeah, you have to now because two Rockin' Toddies will knock me off my chair.
Look out.
Yeah.
Intentional physical comedy.
Thank you, Spencer
Yeah,
and
it's actually
Spencer
a part of the
Darr.
show.
And it was a part of the performance. And Zach Meredith, thanks for joining us, you guys.
Thank
That's
you.
Shark's Teeth. You can find their stuff on Spotify, YouTube, and all over the web, SoundCloud as well. Or go to our website, itsneworleans.com, and find it. That is our show for the day. That is Happy Hour. The producer of Happy Hour is Graham DePonte. Our music director is Christian Unruh, and our music producer is Jean Valois. Thomas Walsh is our technical director, and our live feed directors are the fabulous Asher Griffith and Grayson Jernigan. Our theme music was written by Mitch Foreman, and it's currently being played by him as well. If you'd like to be on our show and you can stay upright for approximately 60 minutes while drinking alcohol, drop us a line. Our address is on our website, itsneworleans.com. You can check out other happy hours. We've made years of them, as well as other shows we make here. Out to Lunch with Peter Raschuti, live from Commander's Palace. True to the Game with the very funny and fabulous Chris True. Now, that guy's funny, isn't he, Eric? Midnight Menu Plus One with Margot Moss and the Man Who Ate New Orleans. Ray Canata, Louisiana Eats with Poppy Talker, Milo's Music Parlor with Kim Vu, and the podcast about death called simply Death the Podcast with psychologist Dr. Arian Alfrant. They're all available on itsneworleans.com. You could also find other great podcasts on itsacadiana.com and itsbatonrouge.la. You can keep up with us on Facebook and Twitter and a bunch of other time-sucking social media as well. On all of it, we're called It's New Orleans. You can find photos from this show on itsneworleans.com and on our Facebook page and other places. Those photos were taken today by Dionne Grayson. Thank you, Dionne. If you're listening to this show on your favorite podcast app, stop what you're doing for 1 second and take a moment to rate and review us. That helps other people find us. And thank you for subscribing to us. Our show is recorded live today at Wayfare on Ferret Street in Uptown New Orleans, where they have a 3-hour happy hour here every day and a great brunch on the weekend. Happy Hour's a production of INO Broadcasting for itsneworleans.com. For Andrew Duhon, everybody else around the table here at Wayfare and back at our office at INO Broadcasting, thank you so much for joining us. I'm Grant Morris. I will see you back here next week on Happy Hour.
And now, a thought from Geico Motorcycle.
It took 15 minutes to take a spirit animal quiz online.
Please be the cheetah. Please be the cheetah.
And learn your animal isn't the cheetah, but the far less appealing blobfish.
Oh, come on.
To add insult to injury, you could have used those 15 blobfish minutes to switch your motorcycle insurance to Geico.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on motorcycle insurance.